Hello, how's everyone doing today? I'm back again, Tarria, out of Greensboro, North Carolina, getting ready to read to you on today out of the book of Expert Secrets, um, Secret Pound number 17. The last we was talking about the perfect webinar model, and I am here in my home, in my office, and I am reading out of the book of Expert Secrets on today, and we was talking about the model. And I am going to continue to read from page 217, the model. And we're going to read from 217, from page 217 on today, up until page 221 today. So for you all joining with me on the book of Expert Secrets on today, I am beginning to read the model, page 217, Secret Pound number 17. And here's the picture of the model, if you all can see it. This model is based on a live webinar. This model is based on a live event schedule. My favorite day is to do webinars Thursday because then I have adequate time to promote it during this week. In other words, Russell has time to promote his webinars during that time on a Thursday during that week. I start promotions on Monday and keep pushing hard until Thursday before the webinar. I send emails, I drive Facebook ads, I work with joint venture partners and a whole bunch of other activities to drive traffic to my up page. Whatever I can do to get people into the live event, I do. And that's what we want to be able to do, drive people and to get people into our live event. When the webinar starts, I stop all promotions because the rest of the week is about converting those prospects into buyers. And remember, I talked about getting your prospects, so we want to be able to get our prospects and turn them into buyers. Every market is different, but I like to spend only $3 to $5 per webinar registration. It's the cost or getting above that. Then my landing page isn't right, my message isn't interesting, I'm retargeting the wrong people or something else. As your costs climb higher into the $7 to $8 range, it becomes challenging to stay profitable on the front end. Personal goals for this funnel each week. Your goals may be different, but this will give you an idea what to shoot for. So whenever you're doing a webinar, he's giving you ideas to work what we can shoot for. Like the registration page is $3, $1,000 per week, 3K ad spend, 29% show up rate, 250 people, 10% close rate at $997, 25 sales, 25K. And double sales on follow-ups and replays, additional 25K. So that's what the amount Russell was making doing his webinars, and we want to be able to try to do the same thing. Let me put in my disclaimers. Results are not typical. Results do vary. With that formula, I'm putting $3,000 a week into ads and making back $50,000 a week in sales while adding 1,000 new people to my list. And that's what we want to be able to do, to add people onto our list, which is called an email list. There are goals each week. Some weeks we don't get the full $1,000 register. Other times we'll get 2,500 people or more. But setting that as the goal and doing a webinar every week, yes, the same webinar over and over again, is the receipt for consistent leads and cash flow into your company. And that's what we want to be able to do, to get consistent leads and cash flow into our company. So each week I do a live webinar selling people on my new opportunity. I spend Monday through Thursday morning promoting the webinar to get as many people as possible to show up on the webinar that Thursday night. I spent the webinar live on Thursday night and made my special offer. Then I show replays on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. And that's what you want to be able to do, to show replays on your webinars that you did for your prospects and customers as well. At midnight Sunday, I take down the offer for those who had registered. Then I start again on Monday filling my event for the upcoming Thursday. That's the whole model. And that's the secret right there. That's the whole model right there. The next question I get from people when I explain this to them live is, but Russell, inside of ClickFunnels, I can create an automatic webinar. Can I just automate this so I don't have to do it live every week? And my answer is yes, eventually, but right now you have to do it live. In other words, Russell is saying we're going to have to do our webinars live. And that's what you want to be able to do your webinars live. I recommend presenting the webinar live a few dozen times at least before you ever automate it. And here's why. My funnel hacks presentation has made me over $10 million with the first year. And Russell has a program called the Funnel Hacks, and it listed inside of ClickFunnels, but you have to become a member of ClickFunnels as well. Remember, I told you to go to clickfunnels.com and you can register for your free 14 trial day account. The first time I delivered it, I did it live seminar and was able to close 33% of the people in the room. Not too shabby, right? The next day I was leaving the event. One of the attendees who heard the presentation told me she loved it. But since she was a coach and didn't have a supplement to sell, she couldn't use ClickFunnels. I gave her a puzzled look. She pointed out that all examples I had showed were people selling supplements, but she didn't have one. I told her that I use ClickFunnels for my coaching business and showed a few of my funnels. She got so excited, ran back into the event and grabbed 2 of her friends. They all filled out order forms and handed them to me before I left the hotel. That was awesome. I closed 3 people who hadn't signed up before. The interaction showed that my presentation wasn't perfect. So on my flight home, I tweaked it by adding a few more slides showing different funnels and giving examples of how others introducers can use ClickFunnels. And that's what you want to be able to do. We want to be able to use ClickFunnels as well. And in order to use ClickFunnels, you're going to have to sign up for your free account, like I said. And to run a book funnel through ClickFunnels or a webinar funnel, you're going to have a ClickFunnels account as well. The next week, I did the presentation live to about 600 entrepreneurs on the webinar. When it was over, he had about 30K. That is awesome, which wasn't too bad, but I knew it should have been more. I had to deliver that webinar again in a few hours to another group of entrepreneurs. So I tweaked it again. I exported all the questions people had to ask, reviewed them, then changed all my slides based on questions they had during my presentation. I saw all the spots that I had explained this wrong or didn't give enough detail or flat out missed things people actually wanted. And that's what you want to be able to do. You want to be able to give people what they want. 4 hours later, I delivered this revised presentation to about 500 entrepreneurs. And this time we sold 120K live. I repeated the same process 60 plus times over the next 12 months, doing a live webinar, exporting questions, and adjusting presentations. It's probably why one of my friends, conversion experts, Joe Lavery, said, "This is after watch my presentation. And that is so awesome. So yes, eventually I would suggest that you automate the webinar, but not at first. So in other words, if you're going to do a webinar, Russell is saying you want to automate it, but not at first. You need to get people feedback to make changes and perfect your webinar. It's more work, but the result could be worth tens of millions of dollars to you overcome. Now, I am sure some of you saw I am spending over $3,000 per week on Facebook alone to get people to my webinar, and got a little nervous. Don't worry about that. In secret pound number 22, I will be showing you ways to fill your funnel with the right people who are ready to buy. There are methods like Facebook strategies that cost money, and I myself pay for Facebook ads as well. But there are other ways that can get people to attend your webinars for free. When you are spending money, start with a lower ad budget at first. Run your webinar a few times to get the kinks out and know the conversions rates to expect. Then you can spend more money on ads because you will know what kind of return to expect. And you want to be able to start out on a small budget. A small budget can be $5, $10 to start out on your ads on Facebook. In the beginning of all kinds of things could happen. Facebook could mess up your ads, and they can. Your webinar software could fail to record or function right. You could lose your power in the middle of your broadcast. Things happen. Sometimes no one even shows up at all, and that's true. No one even shows up at all. But don't forget to remember to still just do your broadcast. It is important not to get discouraged. Stick to the plan and work it week in and week out. The beginning can be rough for some people. Don't quit. It won't be long before you start hitting consistent numbers. Now that you know the model, let's take a look at the funnel you'll be using to move people from registration through the purchase. Now that you know the process of the model, here is the perfect webinar funnel that Russell will teach you to be able to move people through the process of your funnel. And here's a picture of it, if you all can see it. And next we're going to be talking about the perfect webinar. And it's going to be number 1. Send traffic to the webinar registration page. And I hope everyone got some value. I hope everyone got some value and content out of today's message, out of the book of expert secrets on Tarria storytelling. If you got some value, don't forget to share to Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Instagram. And give me some comments, likes, and shares. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel as we move forward in the book of expert secrets. And I will talk to you all later in my next video out of the book of expert secrets. And we'll be talking about the perfect webinar.